Hello and welcome back to the Amateur Entrepreneur. This is your host Amit Sharma, and I must say that it's currently at 6 in the morning, so good morning to you all. So as I said yesterday that I'm gonna memorize those new words along with those which I have already memorized. So I'm gonna narrate these words. These were the new words, and these are the previous words. So I'm going to narrate these words and going to tell you the meaning of these, and after this we are going to read the next chapter, which is chapter 5 of the book named as Story of My Experiments with Truth. It's an autobiography by Mahatma Gandhi. So the 5th chapter is named as the High School. So we are going to read that and also write new words which we're gonna find out in the chapter 5. So let's start with these words which I learned from the previous chapters. From the brief overview, there were 3 new words. One is traverse, which literally means moving from one place to another, but not in the context of traveling through places. It's about a journey. Like it could be I'm doing a journey, so I'm traversing through this book, like from first chapter to the last chapter. Then we have dormant. Dormant means something which is currently at rest, but in the future it may be active. Then we have the salvation, which is a situation where you will be saved by someone from the bad. Now moving to the chapter 1, the birth and parentage. There I have got about 3, 4, 5, 6 about 11 words. So the first one is intrigue, which is secretly planning about someone, but which will be used in a bad context. Then we have carnal pleasures, which is mainly related to the physical pleasures. Then we have adamant, which is like being steady in your own decision. It could be due to stubborn. So next one is steed, which is providing the substitute for something. It's same as instead, but instead is providing a preference over one, but state is not providing the preference over one, it's just providing the substitute. Then we have fugitive. Fugitive is the one who is running away. Running away. Then we have axis and veins, which is like increase and decrease in power or strength over a period of time. Then we have lent. Lent means like borrowing something, mainly used in the context of borrowing. Then we have flinching. Flinching is like taking a step back due to something unpleasant. Then we have intricate. Intricate means something which is complexly interrelating parts, something which is big, which have some really interrelating complex parts. Then we have sluggish. Sluggish means something which is slow as compared to the normal. Then moving to the second chapter, childhood, I got about 6 new words. The first one is lest, which means avoiding the risk of. Then we have lament. Lament means expressing very deep sorrow, the thing we see in the funerals. Then we have agonized, which is very deep worry or cry. Then we have indelible. Indelible means something which can't be removed or washed. Then we have itinerant. Itinerant is traveling from place to place, someone who doesn't have the permanent residence. For example, itinerant musicians who perform from one place to another. Then we have clung. Clung is basically like holding to something very tightly. Now moving to the third chapter, the child marriage. Here we got about 6 words. First one is preposterous, which means silly. And then we have betrothed. Betrothed is same like engage, like the engagement, but in the engagement the commitment is mutual between the partners, but in the betrothed the commitment is not done by the partners. Instead it was done by their parents on their behalf of. So this is called betrothed. So there is a slightly different between engagement and betrothed. Now moving to the third, which is hoarse, which means a sore throat, a very very rough voice due to sore throat. Then we have eclat. Eclat, in this the T is silent, so it pronounced as eclat, which means showing a sense of brilliance. Now moving to the next, it's called the rankled, which means irritating someone. And now we have the last one. This is called hurled. Hurled is like yeah, I forgot the meaning of hurled. It shouldn't be, but what it's like I can see the meaning, but instead of seeing it right away, I must focus on my brain to recollect the meaning. Let's think. What's the meaning of hurled? Then we got the hurled. Yeah, got it. Hurled is like throwing something in the air with great force in order to cause the damage. So this is the meaning of hurled. Now moving to the chapter 4, which we covered yesterday, named as playing the husband. The first word is tenacious. Tenacious means not giving up easily. Then we have fidelity. It's a quality of being faithful. Then we have brook, which is like a small stream. It could be of water or anything. It's like the small stream. Then we have guileless. Guileless is a kind of person who is really honest, who don't know how to trick people. Then we have reticent. Reticent means something, but I'm forgetting its meaning too. What's the meaning of reticent? We will focus on reticent later. Let me cover 3 remaining words. One is spurred. Spurred is like encouraging someone for a particular development in order to finish that development fastly. Then we have devouring. Devouring means what's the meaning of devouring? Like doing something very quickly. And then we have appetite, which means a really strong desire. Now coming back to the word reticent. What's the meaning of reticent? I think the meaning of reticent is like being steady in your own decision. I think it's mainly related to the adamant, but let me make it confirm and let me see the meaning of reticent. Oh, sorry, no. It's the answer is very different, and sorry for this. But the meaning of reticent is not wanting to tell people about something. It's a nature. Like if I don't want to talk about someone's relationship, then I'm being reticent about that. So these were the words that I tried to memorize, but yeah, I am trying, but no worries. it's gonna take time because big things takes time. Yeah, I'm working on the character, so obviously it's gonna take time. So now moving to the next thing, which is reading the 5th chapter of the book, The Story of My Experiments with Truth, which is named as At the High School. So let's start reading the chapter. Yeah. I have already said that I was learning at the high school when I was married. We 3 brothers were learning at the same school. The eldest brother was in a much higher class, and the brother who was married at the same time as I was only 1 class ahead of me. Marriage resulted in both of us wasting a year. Indeed, the result was even worse for my brother, for he gave up studies altogether. Heaven knows how many youths are in the same plight as he. Only in our present Hindu society to do studies and marriages go thus hand in hand. Okay, so he made a really good point. As I always says that marriage is about responsibility and the education too. Like if the person is marrying in a relationship and doing his studies too, then he is fighting 2 wars, and if you are fighting in 2 fronts, then there are chances that you will lose, maybe from both the end or even from one end. You have to compromise. So instead of compromising, one should focus on one war at a time. So if you are studying, you must focus on your studies, and if you are in a relationship, you must focus on the relationship, otherwise both will collapse. So this is my view on this, but yeah, I think that this is a good point, I think. Now moving to the next paragraph. My studies were continued. I was not regarded as a Dunes at the high school. New word, Dunes. D-U-N-C-E. I always enjoyed the affection of my teachers. Certificates of progress and character used to be sent to the parents every year. I never had a bad certificate. In fact, I even won prizes after I passed out of the 2nd standard. In the 5th and 6th, I obtained a scholarship of rupees 4 and 10 respectively, an achievement for which I have to thank good luck more than my merit, for the scholarship were not open to all but reserved for the best boys among those coming from the Surat division of Kathiawad, and in those days there could not have been many boys from Surat in a class of 40 to 50. My own recollection is that I had not any high regard for my ability. I used to be astonished whenever I won prizes and scholarship, but I very jealously guarded my character. The least little blemish, new word. The least little blemish drew tears from my eyes when I merited or seemed to the teacher to merit a rebuke. It was unbearable for me. I remember having once received corporal punishment. I did not so much mind the punishment as the fact that it was considered my desert. I wept piteously. That was when I was in the 1st or 2nd standard. There was another such incident during the time when I was in the 7th standard. Dorabji Idulji Gimme. Dorabji Idulji Gimme was the headmaster then. He was popular among boys as he was a disciplinarian, a man of method and a good teacher. He had made gymnastics and cricket compulsory for boys of the upper standard. I disliked both. I never took part in any exercise, cricket or football, before they were made compulsory. My shyness was one of the reasons for the aloofness. Good word. Let's write it down. aloofness. Where was I? Yeah, for this aloofness, which I now see was wrong. I then had the false notion that gymnastics had nothing to do with education. Today I know that physical training should have as much place in the curriculum as mental training, which is good. Like, in a healthy mind, in the healthy body, there is a healthy mind. So maybe it's good. Actually, it's good. Like, first, I myself worked on my body. Then I thought of increasing my mental strength, because first, working your body is the initial step that everyone should do. Otherwise, you won't be able to bear the pressure. In order to bear the pressure, you must know to take a bath in a sweat, like in your own sweat. It's not good. It's not sounds good. Like, it must be something better, right? Yeah, it's like you must know how to punish yourself, how to suffer physically. Then only, but by yourself. No, this is not also good. I don't know, but okay, we'll work on it. I may mention, however, that I was none of the worse for abstaining from exercise. That was because I had read in books about the benefits of long walk in the open air, and having liked the advice, I had formed a habit of taking walks, which has still remained with me. These walks gave me fairly hardy constitution. The reason of my dislike for gymnastics was my keen desire to serve as nurse to my father. As soon as the school closed, I would hurry home and begin serving him. Compulsory exercise came directly in the way of this service. I requested Mr. Gimme to exempt me from gymnastics so that I might be free to serve my father, but he would not listen to me. Now, it so happened that one Saturday, when we had a school in the morning, I had to go from home to the school for gymnastics at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had no watch, and the cloud deceived me. Before I reached the school, the boys had all left. The next day, Mr. Gimme, examining the roll, found me marked absent. Being asked the reason for absence, I told him what had happened. He refused to believe me and ordered me to pay a fine of 1 or 2 annas. I cannot recall now how much. It's like in a story. Reading book is like a story. So, but it's tough to recall those stories, but chapter by chapter. I was convicted of lying. That deeply pained me. How was I to prove my innocence? There was no way. I cried in deep anguish. Anguish. Okay, new word. Anguish. I saw that a man of truth must be a man of care. Yeah, really big statement. If you want to be a man of truth, you must care about your actions. You must know your actions. You must think before taking your actions. So, for me, I'm not the man of truth. So I don't need to think about my actions. I don't think, like, I don't need to think about every single thing before even speaking a little bit. So literally, I'm not a person or a man of truth. It's really tough job, and it suits those who are tough, who are tough, and who literally are tough. For me, I'm not. This was the first and last instance of my carelessness in school. I have a faint recollection that I finally succeeded in getting the fine remitted. The exemption from exercise was of course obtained, as my father wrote himself to the headmaster saying that he wanted me at home after school. Yeah. But though I was none the worse for having neglected exercise, I am still paying the penalty of another neglect. I do not know whence I got the notion that good handwriting was not a necessary part of education, but I retained it until I went to England. Okay, so he wanted to say that good writing is a must. And if I look at my handwriting, then it's not bad. It's good. What do you guys say about this one? It's good. I think it's good. So one should focus on the handwriting too. But if I say about myself, I haven't focused on this. I just like the way people like my fellow colleagues, how they used to write these fancy words. So I thought like it would be good if I learned to write these words, like the handwriting will look beautiful. So this is how my handwriting got improved. Still it can get improved more, but it's fine, it's average, so I don't need to worry about it. It's average, fine. When later, especially in South Africa, I saw the beautiful handwriting of lawyers and young men born and educated in South Africa, I was ashamed of myself and repented of my neglect. I saw that bad handwriting should be regarded as a sign of an imperfect education. Okay, so my education is good because my handwriting is good. But okay. Suppose if there is some powerful person and his handwriting is bad, and you are saying, as Gandhiji said, the bad handwriting should be regarded as the sign of an imperfect education, so your education was not good. And he says, oh really, my education is not good, let me show you. And he sends you in the prison, and you were like, whether his education was not good or it was my ego which made me into the prison behind the bars. So it's good. Yeah, let's come back. I tried later to improve mine, but it was too late. I could never repair the neglect of my youth. Let every young man and woman be warned by my example and understanding that good handwriting is necessary part of education. Okay, it's for those who are still studying, so you must focus on your handwriting too. I am now of opinion that children should first be taught the art of drawing before learning how to write. Let the child learn his letters by observation as he does different objects such as flowers, birds, etc. And let him learn handwriting only after he has learned to draw objects. He will then write a beautifully formed hand. Okay. Two more reminiscences of my school days are worth recording. I had lost 1 year because of my marriage, and the teacher wanted me to make good the loss by skipping a class, a privilege usually allowed to industrious boys. I therefore had only 6 months in the 3rd standard and was promoted to the 4th after the examination, which are followed by the summer vacation. English became the medium of instruction in most subjects. From the 4th standard, I found myself completely at sea. Geometry was a new subject in which I was not particularly strong, and the English medium made it still more difficult for me. The teacher taught the subject very well, but I could not follow him. It's like a story. I don't need to put any thought on this. The teacher taught the subject very well, but I could not follow him. Often I would lose heart and think of going back to the 3rd standard, feeling that the packing of 2 years' studies into a single year was too ambitious, but this would discredit not only me but also the teacher because counting on my industry, he had recommended my promotion. So the fear of the double discredit kept me at my post. When, however, with much effort I reached the 13th proposition of Euclid, the utter simplicity of the subject was suddenly revealed to me. A subject which only required a pure and simple use of one's reasoning power could not be difficult. Ever since that time, geometry has been both easy and interesting for me. Okay, I think there is a lot of what we see this brightness is coming from outside, so let me just put those curtains again so you have a clear view of my smart face, not the beautiful smart face. Okay, just give me 1 minute, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'll put the curtains again. Now let's move to the next paragraph. Now you see my face is glowing. Yeah, moving to the next paragraph. Sanskrit, however, proved a harder task. In geometry, there was nothing to memorize, whereas in Sanskrit, I thought everything had to be learned by heart. This subject was also commenced from the 4th standard. As soon as I entered the 6th, I became disheartened. The teacher was a hard taskmaster, anxious, and as I thought, to force the boys, there was a sort of rivalry going on between the Sanskrit and the Persian teachers. The Persian teacher was lenient. I was about to sneeze, but it's gone. Sorry for that. The boys used to talk among themselves that Persian was very easy and the Persian teacher were very good and considerate to the students. The easiness tempted me, and one day I sat in the Persian class. The Sanskrit teacher was grieved. He called me to his side and said, "How can you forget that you are the son of Vaishnav father? Won't you learn the language of your own religion? If you have any difficulty, why not come to me? I want to teach you students Sanskrit to the best of my ability. As you proceed further, you will find it in things of absorbing interest. You should not lose heart. Come and sit again in the Sanskrit class." So yeah, whenever you try new things, for the first time it will be hard, for the second time it will be a little easy, but it's still hard. So you need to just repeat the same process, repeat, and one day you will be strong enough and things won't even hurt you anymore. This kindness put me to shame. I could not disregard my teacher's affection. Today I cannot but think with gratitude of Krishna Shankar Pandey, for if I had not acquired the little Sanskrit that I learned then I should have found it difficult to take any interest in our sacred books. In fact, I deeply regret that I was not able to acquire a more thorough knowledge of the language, because I have since realized that every Hindu boy and girl should possess sound Sanskrit learning. So, should I learn Sanskrit? Actually, there was a subject in during my tenure in the school. Also, there was a book on Sanskrit, but it wasn't that good. Should I learn the Sanskrit? Because like if I read the Sanskrit books, there are already a Hindi interpretation of those Sanskrit words. So I don't think that right now it's necessary for me. Later on, if I need the deep knowledge, I'll learn that too. It is now my opinion that in all Indian curricula of higher education, there should be a place for Hindi, Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic, and English, beside, of course, the vernacular. This big list, new word, vernacular. This big list need not frighten anyone if our education were more systematic and the boys free from the burden of having to learn their subject through a foreign medium. I'm sure learning all these languages would not be an irksome task but a perfect pleasure. A scientific knowledge of one language makes a knowledge of other language comparatively easy. In reality, Hindi, Gujarati, and Sanskrit may be regarded as one language, and Persian and Arabic also as one. Though Persian belongs to the Aryan and the Arabic to the Semitic family of languages, there is a close relationship between Persian and Arabic because both claim their full growth through the rise of Islam. Urdu I have not regarded as a distinct language because it has adopted the Hindi grammar and its vocabulary is mainly Persian and Arabic. And he who would learn good Urdu must learn Persian and Arabic, as one who would learn good Gujarati, Hindi, Bengali or Marathi must learn Sanskrit. Okay. So this was the end of the 5th chapter, named as at the high school, and it was really a big chapter. And the next chapter is named as a tragedy. But in this big chapter, I got only 5 new words, which is good. And if I recall this chapter at the high school, then again today also it will be a tough part because it was like in a story, and after reading that I almost forgot. So I think let me call that. So he was talking about, Mahatma Gandhi was talking about his experience at the high school. So his elder brother was in a much higher school, much higher class, but the one who got married with him was only a one class above him. So due to marriage, he lost 1 year of education. So but instead, due to his not his merits, but due to his industrious maybe reason, he got promoted from 3rd to the 4th standard. And but it was hard for Gandhiji to complete both, like to carry on, or like to come into the line. What's the perfect word, like in the like getting merged with the stream? Like it was really hard for Gandhiji to get aligned with the new curriculum of the 4th standard, because and the 4th standard the medium was mostly changed. All things were in English, and it was really tough for him to get aligned with the curriculum. Then he also had a really bad experience with understanding the geometry, which later on he finds it really easy. So after this, he mentioned an incident where his teacher named as Mr. Gimme made it compulsory for all the high class boys to attend the gymnastic classes compulsory. So, but he was not fond of the gymnastic. He just don't like it, maybe because of his bashful nature. So and along with the bashful nature, he also wanted to serve as a nurse to his father because his father's condition was not good. Later on, he will reveal that his father was going through some sort of a disease. Uh, so he asked his headmaster, Mr. Gimme, to give him to just to restrain or to restrain him from attending the gymnastic classes, but his headmaster refused to do so. Then one day he got late because the clouds deceived him and he didn't have the watch to know the perfect timing. And when he reached the school, all boys and the headmaster was left. And then the next day, when the headmaster came to know that Gandhiji was absent, so then he put a fine on him of about 1 anna or sort of something. Then he headmaster asked him uh, for the what was that, for like for the reason. And he said so that because of clouds and the watch, the particular reason. But he said that maybe he's lying, so he got a punishment for the about 1 anna. Then this at that time Gandhiji made a point which was like, a man of truth must be a man of care. If you want to be a man of truth, then you must take care of almost everything. Whatever you do, whatever you say, you must keep that thing in mind, that you must be really careful. So after that, Gandhi said that he was never a careless man. After that, like, he cannot recollect any memories of being careless. So then, even after, when his father wrote that he needs Gandhiji at home with him, then the headmaster gave him the permission to go home without attending the gymnastic classes. So this was the incident of the gymnastic classes. Then after this, what was after that? After that, yeah, then he sees about, I think, language, or which topic he started. Yeah, I think it was of, then yeah, then he said the topic of handwriting. The handwriting should be good, because it he made a statement that if you have a bad handwriting, which literally means you had a bad education, so one must focus on your own handwriting, because this is the only way when you are expressing your thoughts to someone uh, beyond the visual or the audio audio sort of things, which were not really widely used at that time. So it's really good to improve your handwriting. So this is what he said about the handwriting. Then he moved to the next part, which was about what was that? This time he talked about the handwriting got completed, and then he talked about, I think he talked about the language only, which was the last part, I think. or maybe if I'm missing something, just comment the thing. So after that he thought of then he started learning, like in the fourth standard the Sanskrit was also was also an additional subject. So but it was tough for him to learn the Sanskrit because it was really hard for him, because in Sanskrit he needs to by heart the Sanskrit. So it was really tough for him, but there was like a sort of talk of the town that the Persian is easy to understand. So he one day he sat into the Persian class. Then his Sanskrit teacher called him that if you wanted to, that why if you're facing any problem in learning Sanskrit, then you should ask me, because I wanted to teach you Sanskrit in the best way possible. And this made him really made Gandhiji feel really bad. So after that he learned the Sanskrit, and then he made the point that that if he hadn't learned the Sanskrit, then he would never be able to read the sacred books of Hindus. So then he also made a point that one should learn the Sanskrit in order to get the broader aspect or to understanding the broader aspect of life. So he says that one should learn Sanskrit too. And after that he made a point that one should learn Sanskrit and Persian too, Persian Arabic too, because learning a language is not a big task if it's taught in your own language, like Hindi. If Hindi is your mother language, then if things are taught in your own mother language, then it will be really easy for you to understand those instead of learning the same thing in the foreign language. So this was Gandhiji's point of view on learning a new language, which is really good. And yeah, I think that was the end of the chapter at the high school. And now it's time for me to hit the gym. So let's finish this video really fast. And so that was the fifth chapter at the high school. Tomorrow we will read the next chapter, which was a tragedy, named as a tragedy, and we'll see what that tragedy was. So that's it for today, guys. We will meet you tomorrow morning. Yeah, maybe tomorrow morning. We'll meet you tomorrow. Till then, tada, bye bye, and thank you, because I have to hit the gym. We'll see you later. Bye.